Hey folks, and welcome to part 3 of How to Play Tomorrow Tomorrow by Elliott Smith. If you've made it this far, way to go. You're making good progress, so keep it up. In this video, we're going to cover the verse. So we're going to be doing the same picking we've been practicing, but I wanted to mention here that Elliott's recorded and live versions are a bit different, and in the recording I think I can hear the tremolo on both the E and the B strings at the same time throughout most of the video, whereas in his live performance I think he stays on one string at a time for the tremolo, sometimes the E string, sometimes the B string, and that's how I decided to notate the tabs, so that's how I'll explain it. But I just wanted to mention that I sort of like to try to hit both strings at the same time for the tremolo. I just think it sounds a bit more full that way. But let's get to it. We're going to start with our left hand, second and third fingers, the same way we started the intro. So 3rd fret of the B, 4th fret of the G string, and then with our pointer we're going to bar the 2nd fret of the A, D, and G string. Alright, so then our thumb is going to be jumping around a lot in this section, but we're going to start out alternating between the A and the G string. And this E string will be our tremolo note, and it's going to be open. So we've got A, 2, 3, G, 2, 3, A, 2, 3, G, 2, 3. Then we're going to hit the D string, and our pointer's barring the 2nd fret, but we're going to use our 3rd finger to hammer onto the 4th fret of the D string. And that's going to happen before our tremolo kicks in. So it's going to go like this. Hammer, 2, 3. And then we do it again. Hammer, 2, 3. Then we hit the G string, 2, 3. And then we do that same hammer to the G string. And then we go to an A chord. But let's do that measure again so we can get our hammer-ons right. So we've got that B minor shape, and we've got A string, 2, 3, G string, A, G, hammer the D, 2, 3, hammer, 2, 3, G string, hammer, 2, 3, A. Alright, nice. Now once we get to the A chord, we're going to go A string, 2, 3, G, A, G, A, and then we're going to do that same hammer to the D string, and then open G string. We're just going to take our left hand off. And then we go to this G chord, except we're going to leave the E string open and add our pointer to the 2nd fret of the D string. And we're going to alternate with our thumb between the E and the D string. So E, 2, 3, D string, 2, 3, E, D, E, D. And now our pointer finger's on that D string, and we're just going to slide it up to the 4th fret. And then we're going to move it back down to the 2nd fret. And then we're going to go to an E chord. We're going to hit the E string, E, 2, 3, G, 2, 3. Then we're going to add our pinky to the G. Then take it off. And then hit the D string, the G string, and then we're sort of going to walk down back to that B minor chord by taking our 3rd finger off for an open D, and then we're going to put our pinky on the 4th fret of the A string, and then we're back to that B minor chord. And so we basically repeat that whole thing, but once we get to that last E chord, we're going to end slightly differently. So let's just go through it slowly still, and then I'll do the second ending. So we've got this B minor shape, and then A string, 2, 3, G string, A, 2, 3, G, hammer the D, hammer, G, hammer the G, A, G string, A, G, A, hammer the D, again, open G, new chord, E string, D string, E string, D string, E string, D string, slide to the 4th fret, back down, and now we're to this E again, so we end a bit differently. We're going to hit the E string, the G string, add our pinky to the G string, take it off, D string, G string, and then D string, and then we're going to take our 3rd finger off for an open D string. Alright, so that's the first half of the verse. So let's move on to the second half, and we're going to use our middle finger on the 5th fret of the A string, and our pointer on the 4th fret of the G string, and we're going to move our tremolo to the B string. Alright? So we're going to hit the A string first, A, 2, 3, G, 2, 3, A, 2, 3, and then the next time we hit the G, we're going to hammer on with our 3rd finger to the 5th fret of the G string, but we're going to do it on the 3rd note of the triplet. Alright, so we're going to hit it, the G string, and we're going to do our middle finger tremolo, and then when we do our pointer tremolo, we hammer on to that 5th fret of the G. So let me do it so you can hear how it sounds. So 1, 2, hammer. Alright, and then we hit the A string again, A, 2, 3, and then we're going to hit the G again, but basically do the inverse. We're going to pull our 3rd finger off, and same timing on the 3rd note of the triplets. So 1, 2, pull off. Alright, and then we hit the A string again, A, 2, 3, and then we take our pointer off for an open G hit. Alright, then we move down to the 4th fret with our 3rd finger, 2, 3, G string, and we do a whole measure of that. A, G, A, G. Then we move down to the 3rd fret with our middle finger, A, and then we do that same hammer on. We're going to hammer on with our pointer finger to the 2nd fret of the G string. Same timing though, so 1, 2, hammer, and then we hit the A string again, and then we do that same pull off. So G string, 1, 2, pull off, and then A string again, G string, and then we're to an E chord, and we're going to do the same thing we did on the last E chord. So E string, G string, add the pinky, take it off, D string, G string, D string, open D string. Then we're going to do that again, that section, and once we get to the E, we'll just end slightly differently again. So we're going to slide back up to the 5th fret, G string, A string, G2, hammer, A, G2, pull off, A, open G string, 4th fret, open G, A, G, A, G, A, G, 3rd fret, G, A, same hammer on, so 1, 2, hammer, A, 2, 3, same pull off, 1, 2, pull off, A, 2, 3, G, 2, 3, and then we're at the E again, and we're gonna end on E string, G, add the pinky, pull it off, D string, G string, D string, and then A string. Alright, so that is the verse, and next will come sort of a bridge section before the instrumental. And we'll cover that section in the next video. But for now, let's go over that whole verse all together. So we've got the B minor shape, and here we go. A string, 2, 3, G, A, G, hammer the D, again, G string, hammer the G, A chord, G, A, G, A, hammer the D, open G, new chord, D, E string, D string, E, D, slide up to the 4th fret, E chord, E string, G string, add the pinky, back off, D string, G, walk down to the B minor, G string, A string, G string, hammer on the D, hammer, G string, hammer the G, A chord, G string, A string, G string, A, hammer the D, again, open G string, new chord, E string, D string, E string, D string, E, D, slide up, back down, E chord, G string, add the pinky, back off, D, G, D, open D string, and we're up at the 5th fret, G string, hammer, 1, 2, pull off, open G, 4th fret, G string, A string, G, A, G, A, G, 3rd fret, G, A, G, 2, hammer, 2, pull off, A, G, E chord, G string, add the pinky and back off, D, G, D, open D, back up to the 5th fret, A, G, 2, hammer, G, 2, pull off, A, open G, 4th fret, G, A string, G string, A string, G string, A string, G string, 3rd fret, A, G, 2, hammer, G, 2, pull off, G, E chord, E string, G, add the pinky, back off, D, G, D string, A string. Alright, so that's the whole verse. Keep up your practice. You'll get it. In the next video, we'll cover the sort of bridge section up to the instrumental. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.